A video on me faffing around with something. So I made a Panzanella salad a few weeks back, and I was faffing around, and I ended up with like I strained the excess juice out of it, so it wasn't like a really wet salad. But this juice tasted amazing. And then I used the juice to make a soup, and I slightly kicked myself because I really should have seen what it was like in a Bloody Mary cocktail. So I'm not really a fan of Bloody Mary cocktails. I think the tomato element of it's just not a very nice kind of tomato. I like tomatoes, I love tomatoes, but like that tomato element in a Bloody Mary I don't think it's particularly very nice. So let's see if we can replicate the juice that came out of the salad, see if we can get it tasting kind of quite nice, and then we'll add it to some vodka, and then, well, it's Friday night tonight, so we'll have this faffing around over 24 hours, and then we'll be able to have a Bloody Mary tomorrow night. So these are in here is the pips from some tomatoes. So my friends gave me some Gardener's Delight tomatoes. I don't want the pips and the juice from the inside of the tomatoes, so I'm going to use those for something else, and we're not going to waste those. That's what we're going to use to make the tomato element of the Bloody Mary. You don't have to scoop the seeds out, you don't have to use seeds. What you can do is just buy some tomatoes and just do the same process that I'm doing. I'm just using the insides, but you can use the outsides of the tomatoes as well, raw the flesh of the tomatoes. So, and then we've got, so there's 200 milliliters in there, so I reckon about the same amount of cucumber. So it's just the inside of the cucumber, which is what I did when I made the salad. I scooped out the inside of the cucumber because I thought it would make the salad too wet. So we'll scoop out the insides, the seeds, and then we'll use this for our base for the tomatoes. So hopefully about equal quantities of each. Where are we? No, maybe not. Maybe not. Do I want some more tomato than that? Yes. No, cucumber, not tomato. So it's about half cucumber. Yeah, so, and if you don't want to just scoop out, if you like, you're going to have to use those for something. It's kind of like a waste. So if you're making this and you don't want to waste anything, just use the same amount of cucumber and tomato, like whole cucumbers, whole tomatoes, puree them down, and then put them through the sieve like we're going to do. But I think we'll do half the amount of cucumber to the amount of tomato. I think that's what we'll do. So 200 milliliters worth of tomato, and then 100 milliliters worth of cucumber seeds, and then we'll puree this and we'll taste it. It's not going to be very tomatoey in colour, but we'll see how we go. Give this a taste. Right, it certainly needs some salt in it, so that much salt, and it certainly needs some pepper. And then the other part of of course pepper, yeah, because you put Tabasco in it, don't you, in a Bloody Mary. So the other part of Bloody Mary is celery. So I reckon we'll puree some celery into it as well, and then we'll get the juice from the celery, it's normally celery salt, isn't it? So we'll put in celery, puree that in, and we'll get some of the juice out of the celery. So what's that? That's half a stick of celery. That looks about the kind of ratio. So we'll puree that up as well. How does that taste? Ooh, that tastes good. Just a tad more salt though. Maybe a little bit more pepper as well. Because we're going to put it through a cloth. So we're just going to end up with the puree, the actual liquid rather than the actual puree part of it. It's a bit greeny brown, isn't it? So it won't be appetizing colour like a Bloody Mary, but we'll see. It's all about the flavour. That's nice. That's nice. So then, I have got a... Do I want to put the rest of that in? Yeah. Yeah, I want to put the rest of that in. I want to put the rest of that in. Why not? I mean, I kind of think cucumber doesn't go in a Bloody Mary, but you can have a some gin and tonics you put cucumber in, don't you? So cucumbers are used in cocktails, and that's a good enough reason. Right, so that out of the way. Final taste. That's lovely. Certainly did that celery. So then we've got a bit of cloth. We've got a colander sieve, and we've got another bowl, another jug underneath. That's just stained. It's not dirty. It's just that I use it for loads of things, so it just gets stained over time. So it's clean. It's just a bit stained. So then we pour this in here, and then what will happen is the clear juice, hopefully, will pass straight through and collect in the bottom, and then any kind of sediment will be kept with the what it look like with the cloth. Yeah, so it's coming through. It's a little bit cloudy, but it might clear up. So we'll leave that overnight in the fridge, and we'll see how it is tomorrow. It's been draining overnight, and we are left with this liquid, which is not a brilliant colour. It's got a greeny colour, which is not really what I wanted. Tastes amazing. Tastes amazing, does that? So I kind of thought, and that's not really enough. And there's not, you know, that's no good for just, might be all right for just me, but if you've got guests, that's going to not really give you enough. So let's do it again, and see if we can. I bought some more ingredients, and we'll kind of do it again, and we'll use whole tomatoes. What I've done is, so we've got 400 grams worth of tomatoes, and I've taken the seeds out, and then I've pureed the seed pulp, and then strained that liquid away from the seeds. So there's just the liquid from the seeds on the bottom there, without the seeds. Because what I'm going to do is, once I've strained this and got the liquid out of it, I'll use that tomato, cucumber, and celery pulp in something else. So we're not going to waste anything. We're going to extract flavour out of it, but we're not going to waste it. I'll put it in some kind of ragu, and it'll, even though there won't be a lot of flavour left in it, there will be some flavour, and we don't like waste. So 400 grams of tomatoes, 200 grams worth of chopped celery, and then 200 grams worth of cucumber. Now what I've done with the cucumber is I will show you that as well. I've peeled it because I didn't want the outside of the cucumber is really green, so I didn't want that kind of turning the colour of the liquid too much. I still want it to be hopefully red. So pulp and seeds, well, all of it. Whereas in the other one I just used the inside of the celery, because I was essentially trying to recreate what I'd done with the salad that I'd made. But this, if we're doing it from scratch, you're going to be using whole tomatoes, and you're going to be using whole celery. That's the pulp that was left over from when I strained it. So now I need some salt in. What the salt's going to do is it's going to break down the cell walls of the fruit, because we are using fruits, aren't we? Apart from celery, it's going to break down cell walls, and it's going to release that liquid. I think if we just pured it without any salt in, I think we'd struggle to get the actual liquid out, unless we were going to freeze it. So we could do that. We could have frozen it, but I want a cocktail tonight, and not enough time to freeze. So puree take a little while to get going. So a bit like a gazpacho, really. So the more we puree it, we'll put some more salt in. The more we puree it with the salt in, the thinner we get it and the more liquid we'll get out of it. So give it a taste. A bit more salt. That's quite a lot of salt, but we're not going to eat all that salt. We're going to drink it. And we'll put some more pepper in at the same time. I think if we were to add Tabasco, I think we'd add it at this stage. Or put a pepper in, like a little bit of a chili pepper, that'd be nice. I should have bought some chili peppers when I was out shopping. Not to worry, add it if you want it. But the pepper's going to be spicy enough, so that's where the heat's going to come from. Right, there we go. So, that'll be enough. We bang plastic on our hand, we don't bang it on other things, otherwise it's going to crack the plastic. And you can't just buy that end of the blender, you have to buy a whole new blender, which is no good at all. So you don't want to crack it. So this into here, like this. And then we'll put that in the fridge and let it drain through. And just get that as well. And then hopefully we'll leave it until what time is it? It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So by the time I'm ready for a cocktail, about 10 o'clock tonight, we should have got loads of lovely juice. Oh yeah, it's already coming through. There's loads coming through and it's lovely, like rose colour. So there we go. Yeah, so I'm going to use that pulp in something else. Those seeds, I'm not going to use that for anything because those seeds, I don't want seeds in like a tomato or ragu sauce. So that was just a waste one, wasn't it? So that was one made from waste products that we weren't going to use elsewhere. This is one that we're using from fresh. So, but just removing those seeds means that I can use that in something else afterwards. But I'm not going to use that. That's going to go in the compost. This has gone through the cloth a lot quicker than I thought it would have done. So I think it's obviously down to the salt that we've kind of added. I've moved it around a bit, so we've got some more liquid kind of wanting to pass through. What happens is it's the outside of the pulp that releases the liquid, and you're still kind of left with the center of the pulp, which is still a little bit wet. So you kind of have to move it around and kind of mix it up a bit, and then you'll get more liquid kind of coming through. So this is actually how you make a tomato consomme, if you're kind of quite interested. I've made them before. It's an interesting process, and it's something that creates a delicious essence of tomato. You'll be shocked. It's one of those things that you don't think something that is as clear as what we're making has as much flavour in it. So I'm just going to squeeze it, which might make it a little bit cloudy because we'll be pushing a little bit of solid through the cloth. Not much, but there'll be a little bit of sediment. You know, I mean, it has to be a really, really, really fine cloth for it to be completely clear and pick up all those bits of excess sediment that want to pass through. So as you can see, lots of liquids kind of coming out, and this also is a lesson in how much liquid is in fruits and vegetables, because tomatoes and cucumbers are a fruit, even though we just associate, I think you just associate fruit being sweet, so therefore if it's not sweet, therefore you just kind of like assume that it's a vegetable. But anyway, so that's quite a lot of liquid that we're actually squeezing out, so we're going to get a good yield. So hopefully I won't drink it all tonight in cocktails. We'll have to see. But anyway, so that's only taken a couple of hours, and most of the liquid has come out, and we're left with just some vegetable pulp in the bottom, which I'm just going to put in this. I'm not going to waste it. I mean, you kind of go, well, you might as well just put that in the compost. No, you might as well actually put that in the ragu that you're making for your dinner, which was stuff that I found in the in the freezer. So it won't add too much flavour, because most of the flavour will go into the liquid, but it will bulk it out a little bit, and we'll get something out of it. So there we go. So that's going to be for dinner tonight. Well, I'm going to turn it into something else, but it'll just cook slowly, and then we'll just re-season as we go, and then we're left with that, which it's got that little bit of sediment on top, but we're not that bothered. We could put it through we could put it through a filter paper. Yeah, let's put some of it through a filter paper. Hang on. Right, so coffee filter paper into a container, and we've got forgotten the name of the thing. Let's just see if we can get out those little bits of sediment and see if it'll just pass nicely through there, and then we'll get a crystal clear liquid. Coffee paper, so it's unbleached paper, so we're not going to change the flavour of the tomato essence. Is it going through? Yeah, it's going through. That's okay. So we're not going to do it all. I'm just going to do some, and we'll get like an idea. Yeah, it's going through. Oh, it's nice and crystal clear. Okay. We're kind of losing some of the rosy colour of it. So that's like a rosy colour-ish. Well, it's not really shown on camera, but we're getting a much clearer coloured liquid. So we'll have the flavour, but it'll just be a different kind of colour, so we can make choices. So I'm not going to put anything more through that filter paper. We'll just do a bit of a taste test later on when I'm ready for a cocktail. Like mid-afternoon, I'm going to start drinking cocktails mid-afternoon. Right, let's give these a taste. That's the one made with whole tomatoes, peeled cucumber and celery. That's the filtered version of that one, so we put it through the coffee paper. And this is the one made with the like the waste from the Panzanella salad. That's delicious. Ooh, that's good, that one. And what does this one taste like? That's delicious in a different way. That's delicious in a... They're both delicious. They're both delicious as is. Do you know the celery just lifts that? I don't know why I never put that in before. So we'll try them with the vodka. I won it in a raffle, otherwise I'd normally just buy cheap vodka if I was faffing around with cocktails. But I won it in a raffle. Fact, I won 3 prizes in the raffle. I won 3 hampers worth of booze. But after the first one, I didn't take the second 2. I thought that was a bit mean on everyone else, wasn't it? So it's 5 parts tomato to 1 part vodka. We'll use the other way around. And now we're going to put some Worcestershire sauce in, maybe a little. Now let's taste it for now. It's alright. That's probably far too much. Probably ruined that. It's alright, that's probably too much of that. Good job I've got a bit more, haven't I? So, not to worry. How's it taste? I need some ice, hang on. Right, I've got some ice. So, away we go. I'm not sure I like it with Worcestershire sauce, although that might be because I put too much Worcestershire sauce in. So, they essentially are the same, but one's just filtered and one's not. So, we haven't lost any flavour, it's just not as... It's just clearer, that's all. Although that one's got that rosy hue to it, so... Try again with the Worcestershire sauce, just a little bit this time. That's a better amount. Stir. See if I prefer this more than a normal Bloody Mary. I think they're both really good. They're both really good. That one's slightly thicker, so it's got like a different mouthfeel. So that makes that one kind of feel a bit fresher. Do I think it needs double the amount of vodka in it? Let's put a bit more vodka in. Let's put 2 parts to 5. Make it a little bit more like rocket fuel. No, it kind of loses tomato-ness. No, 1 part to 5. I wonder if it'd be nice with gin. Maybe I just don't like a Bloody Mary. Maybe I just don't like a Bloody Mary. They're nice, but it's not my cocktail of choice. And I thought that making the tomato element a bit nicer would have been better, but it hasn't really. I'm just not a fan of a Bloody Mary. I want to be, but I'm not. But that's interesting, all the same. So, kind of a success. I'll keep the juices, and then when I've got some gin. No, I haven't got any gin in the house. When I've got some gin, we'll try it with gin, because it might just be nicer with gin, because that's more of these are more perfumey than normal tomato, so that might work a little bit better. But I just don't think I'm a fan of Bloody Mary, which is a shame, because that on its own is delicious. But anyway, slightly disappointing. Not really a success. Right, I bought a lemon. Let's just try this with a few bits of lemon in it. It'll squeeze out this way. Let's just do it like that. This lemon improves flavour. So, like salt, it might just need a few squirts of lemon. Gone back to the 1 part vodka to 5 parts juice. Let's see. Yeah, it's better with some lemon in it. It's better with some lemon. That's much nicer. That's much nicer. Oops. There we go. That's alright, that's much nicer. Is it even better with a bit more lemon? Yeah, that's nice. That's much nicer than a regular Bloody Mary. What am I going to call that? A Panzanella Mary? Yeah, why not? A success.